It's been almost a year since CSU Housing and Dining Services purchased a $140,000 Earthflow composter. The 30-yard composting bin can take over 15,000 pounds of compostable material each week, according to a fact sheet compiled by Housing and Dining Services. All the finished compost is used on campus for a variety of landscaping projects. However, for the first time, Housing and Dining Services will be giving the compost away as part of the Arbor Day celebration to replant the elms damaged by last year's snowstorm, and for staff and faculty to use in their spring gardens. Improving the composting process has not been easy. Overestimates of how much compostable material the composter can take slow the process early on, said Tim Broderick, CSU's sustainability coordinator.
Since we've had the composter, we've been working through making the system as efficient as possible and realizing what can we actually put in there and what can't we. We originally predicted that we'd probably be able to put in at least Braden and Ramshorn. Those two dining centers have pulpers, but after working with it for about 6 months, we realized we are only able to compost Ramshorn out of that entire composting system. So with the public access bin there, we are completely maxed out in capacity. The machine itself, as I said, can take 2,000 pounds a day. So we're attempting to get as close as possible to that 2,000 pound mark. Obviously it fluctuates a bit here and there. I would say rough estimates since the composter has been enacted, about 150,000 pounds worth of food waste has been diverted from the landfill.
Ramshorn has the only public access composting bin on campus, but Broderick said there will not be an expansion of the public access bin anytime soon.
A public access bin to me is exciting. It's a spot where we can sort of sample to see how efficient our stream would be in terms of not having contaminants in it. As of right now, it's not looking too great. The students don't do an excellent job of figuring out what's compostable and what's not. And that can be difficult because so many things are compostable. For instance, when you have recycling, you can often just say, 1 through 7, everything's sort of labeled. But a lot of food waste isn't necessarily labeled, so people have difficulty determining whether or not that's compostable. So we're struggling with the potential of expanding it further with more public access to composting.
As Broderick explained, getting the composter in the first place was challenging because of strict permitting rules in Larimer County.
The permitting process was pretty intense. I had to work through Larimer County. And also, in order to get it, there were a number of things that had to be done. Part of it was all materials used in our composting process had to be from on-site generated. So all of our bulking material is from the equine center. So we use straw and horse manure as our bulking. And then obviously all of our food waste comes out of the dining halls. Also part of the permitting process was that it had to be in vessel. And that is because of all the critters out of the foothills. We've actually seen mountain lion paw prints down there, so they come out and check out some of the food waste. So there were some permitting issues, but we did it for the reason that we believe it's the right thing to do, and also using it as a living laboratory. We work directly with the Department of Crop Soil Science.
Joe Gale is a senior crop soil sciences major and CSU's composting intern. He receives the pulped food from the dining center at the composting site off Overland and LaPorte. One of the major challenges Gale has is with trash being mixed with the pulped material. Gale must remove the trash before composting the material because plastic and other trash can cause issues with the composting process. Broderick said that there are currently no plans to expand composting on campus.
The composter is fantastic. We love it. We wouldn't change it or get rid of it. Would we expand it? Probably not at this point in time. Our return on investment for that composter is about 14 years. And part of that is because we have one of the cheapest landfill tipping fees in all of the United States. So therefore, when you build that into looking at the return on investment, the ROI, it just makes it that much longer. Versus if you took the same model and ran it in Los Angeles or ran it into Philadelphia, your model might be 4 or 5 years there because the landfill tipping fees are so high.
Though getting the composter has been fraught with logistical and mechanical issues, Broderick said the benefits of composting are significant.
The immediate benefits, and the ones that I always point out is, I don't know if you've been down Taft Hill before to the Larimer County landfill. If you get a chance, go down there. It's a pretty ugly sight. It's huge. Its plastic bags are everywhere, and there's nothing they can do with that space in terms of wildlife. It's just sort of a huge area of our community that has just been removed. So if we can reduce that and eventually get to a point where we're at zero waste coming out of our system, and you can take that land and have that be a part of our community again, or have it be wildlife space, I think that's a pretty powerful thing. So waste diversion is probably the biggest component of composting that I see.
That's all for now. My name is Keely Blakely. Thank you for listening.